there, everybody. Welcome to the Heed Army podcast. And I hope you're in a better mood than me. I cannot get the graphics working for the show. But as we'll start off anyway, thank you to our sponsors, Northern Print Solutions and Hope and Glory, for their continued support. Lots to talk about. We've got a victory. We've got a defeat. We've got 2 more games to go. We've got news about Gateshead FC ladies. We're going to be joined by Simon Johnson live on the show. We've got loads of messages coming in. We're going to be reading out all of those. Are you making the big trip down to Yeovil? Did you make the big trip down to Eastleigh last weekend? And as I say, we'll get into all of the other bits in between. It just leaves us to bring in the boys and take off these graphics here. When I said the graphics, it's the, when I put the graphics up in the background. We'll get there eventually. Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, he disappeared for a bit.
Oh, disappeared.
Well, you're probably a bit upset after last night. How are you, Mickey?
Hey.
Absolutely fan-dabby-dozy.
It feels like one step forward, 2 steps back. Oh, goodness, he's back. Here he is. He's not happy with his internet, is he?
I haven't been gone. Right.
Oh, I'm just trying to get rid of you, Davey.
Damn internet. I'm having a nightmare with it at the minute. But what I will say is that we are live and we're going to read out your messages, get them in. As I mentioned before, we do have Simon Johnson joining us a little bit later on. Darcy, she's got the first one in as ever. That's why she's listener of the year. And we've got
Darcy
all as well. Say Mickey was hot on the chat there as well. Even by Miss Gray's standards, that's early. To be honest, that was quite late. Sometimes she's got a 3:30 one in there, you know.
Wow.
And I wonder what we can debate this evening. Well, we know what we can debate. We've got there. Evening, guys. Hope you're okay. Poor result last night at Rochdale. Bring on Tamworth on Saturday. Big 3 points needed. We've got Crystal Stories joined us. Also, Craig, Liv as well, and all the family. Sean Parry, who I seen walking his dog today at the top of Beacon Loft. We've got Ken Webster there. We've got Mason. What cheer Mickey up was Ridderton is his time. Yes, he can't wait to having a nice embrace. Spotted a wild Steely last night at Rochdale. I was at Eastleigh and I'm going to Yeovil.
Nice one, Sean.
And talking about a wild Steely, we've got a picture of it here. There he is. Look, in the wild.
There's the Heed Army. Hey, they were in good voice last night. Hey, those lads did the club proud.
Good. I'm glad someone did, because the players friggin' didn't.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with should we start a positive on Saturday?
Well, may as well.
You know, it might be a good place. So we lost Davey again, or is he just in the background?
I don't know. I think it's just me and ye. I can't even see ye. Steely is just there you go.
Oh, there he is. There, he's back.
To be honest,
wow.
To be honest, Steely, I mean. I don't know if you've seen the game on Saturday.
I didn't know. No, I saw the highlights.
They played absolutely. They were brilliant on Saturday.
It was total opposite the South End. We actually looked like a team. You know what I mean? And,
what a goal by Dom Telford now.
Oh, aye. Took it really well, didn't he?
Aye.
Right.
That's how we were having a conversation. You as well going back to what you were doing.
Internet. That's all I can say. Virgin Media, I hope that is burned down tonight.
Now the difference, because if there might be something I want to watch on the telly, I cannot get my apps to work on Virgin, by the way.
Oh, well, I've got the 500 meg. I'm not posh or anything. I just got a good deal, but it isn't that good because it doesn't bloody work. Honest, luckily if I get 20 meg half the time, I'm paying for 500. Anyway, that's the rant over. So. What were you saying there, boys? When I was
we're talking about Eastleigh first.
Eastleigh, just to be positive, I have a positive start, Davey.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've been trying to link up everything in the background, but the internet has been. I don't know how it's been so bad, but anyway, I'll get the Eastleigh highlights up for us to watch.
It was a good win. It was a surprising win, really, especially after the South End. You know, after South End, there was a lot of doom and gloom. You know, people having a bit more of a reality check of where we were. So, you know, when you went down there, I was thinking, you know, we'll do well to get anything out of this. But yeah, we'll bust it, really.
Certainly did. And
it certainly did.
And 1 second, I'll just
limited them chances. I know they scored a goal in the second half, but it was offside, and so
Oh,
yeah.
2 offside goals.
Oh, it was 2 offsides. That's right. Aye.
Did you see Kelvin Davis's interview?
No.
The Eastleigh manager.
No, what did he say?
He says, I thought we played really well. We bossed the game for large majorities.
Wow.
I think he must have been stood behind the stand, not in front of it.
Yeah.
There was rumours he was dismissed at the end of the game, but he wasn't, was he?
Yeah. I think someone's just been
malicious. Aye.
Yeah, definitely being malicious. Yeah, that's the Dom Telford, and from behind the goal, it looked even better as well, didn't it? I mean, it's a. I mean, their keeper. I mean, even Kelvin Davis went, "Oh well, I don't even know if he meant it." I'm like, I think he did, son. Like, he
looked up and took the shot.
So if he didn't mean it, what was he doing? Was he just trying to knock it into the co-op stand behind the goal? I mean, come on.
Well, no, he was trying to Greg Ollie like Maidenhead.
Yeah. Oh, aye. Great goal. So some people are a bit curious about his celebration, mind.
Oh yeah, well, my son was over the moon that he did the gritty because he plays Fortnite, and that's one of the dancers now. Sure, it's
I see.
As well.
Oh, well, you see, I wouldn't.
See, I'm too old for that kind of stuff.
But my kids keep me, down with the kids. Someone said Steve Farnfields, but other broadbands are available. They are, but the dearer. So there you go. There's the moral.
David, did you run next door and just tell your kids to stop streaming and get off the internet?
No, I'm hardwired to the internet. That's what I've got like a long Ethernet cable. It's like 30 meters long, so I'm going from here into the living room. But I mean, here's the next goal. Lovely run by Kane at and picked out beautiful shot.
Started the game. Yeah, started the game, and rightly so. He had a great pre-season, so it was nice to see him start and take his goal well.
It certainly was. Yeah. I mean, the positives are, I mean, I'm not being funny. In years gone by, the long journeys for Gateshead, we never really seemed to get anything out of them, did we? And,
we do at Eastleigh, though.
We do at Eastleigh. That's been the exception to the rule.
They must hate us.
I mean, I must admit, Paul McCallum looked absolutely awful. Didn't look interested. Didn't look fit to me in this game. But I mean, look, we've got the 3 points on the board, and I think I was speaking to Steely today. Yes, we're being kind of ripped apart in 2 games, but if we win on Saturday, you've got 6 points from 12, 6 points from a possible 12. It's it's not bad going. I'm not saying things are great.
It's a big word, isn't it?
Yeah, if is a big word. But I mean, I think everyone, including the manager, realizes improvements have to be made. I imagine the players are told that as well. I know he's very diplomatic.
We gave everything yesterday, apparently.
Oh.
Has Davey gone again?
I'm fizzing. Absolutely fizzing.
Yeah.
I mean, we did not. I didn't mind getting beat. And I know Alan Armstrong's got one hell of a job on with the budget and things like that.
Aye.
But make it hard for them.
I know.
They didn't get in the faces at all. And make them work for everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're gifted a few.
Getting a boot in. I've never seen any tackling yesterday at all.
Midfield was non-existent.
We made them look like a training game, the way they were ghosting past us in midfield, and it heaps on pressure onto Shelby in the defence, and it just wasn't great. I mean, I'll go on record here. I know people probably don't agree with us. I don't rate Manny Desawaru. I don't rate him, and I think we gifted him his goal. Look, he scores goals. I understand that, but every time I've seen him, I've been vastly underwhelmed. But then again, he gets goals. Who might argue?
Now, but we only see him twice a season,
and he does well against us both times.
Yeah. So, I mean, he must have something to do with him because he scores plenty of goals.
Yeah,
and we obviously didn't. But when you play into the hands, and like we did last night. I mean, sideways and backwards everywhere we go. I think that's what's being sung in the stands. Wasn't it, Steely? Something like that.
I don't know if that helped. It's not great. I mean, the fans are right, and it was frustration, wasn't it? Because we didn't get out of first gear. We just sat there and just let them basically boss the game, steamroll us. You know, another big, powerful team, but we just let them in. You know, what I mean?
The amount of passes that went to Shelby, I said like during the game, why didn't we put Shelby in their box? Maybe we might have a shot by the end of this.
I know.
That's hypothetical. I'm sorry, like I didn't mind. I am, like I've said before, I am totally and utterly behind Alan Armstrong and the job he's got.
Absolutely.
But to go to make like that, and there's no one on the touchline, at least having a gun at them. Just sit there like tons of frigging milk.
For me, it was a reality check. That's what it was for last night, really. You know, we've had. Let's be honest. We'll talk about it. Over the last 6 to 7 years, we've had great success. You know, we stormed the National League North title. You know, we did a couple of FA Cup runs into the second round. We got the Wembley final, lost to Halifax, but then went and won we won the FA Trophy. You know, being in the playoffs, were sort of 4th, 5th last season, and it just faded at the end. You know. And so you had all that, and we've had all this kind of success. This is the first season in a while where actually I think we've gone back over, you know. And of course, that's
gone back over.
Yeah, I know that's down to budget and all the rest of it, and you know, good players have left, etc. But last night it was men against boys. You know what I mean? It was humbling, really. We just got absolutely panicked.
More too. Like I say, I don't mind getting beat, but put some tackles in.
I know, that's right.
Work them hard. I mean, there was none of it. There was none against Southend neither. No. It's meek. It's like they give up. I know that they've got more professional pride than that. I fully understand that. And they're probably a better side, but there's nothing stopping them from working hard and putting tackles in.
Aye, absolutely. You could see it in some of the defenders. They were getting frustrated. You know what I mean? You know, the captain was very frustrated. When the third went in, he was absolutely livid. But I mean, you know,
it was a tough watch yesterday. Apologies for us disappearing. I hope it hasn't affected the stream, but my end, it just been absolutely just chaos. Screen keep going blank and everything.
Been all right this side, Davey. It's been all right.
Hopefully, get ready for the Mickey and Steely show into the future. The spin-off.
Yeah, out you can.
It is a good job that that me mic went off because there was some choice words said aimed at Richard Branson. Yeah.
What do you think, Davey, last night? What was your thoughts on it all?
I missed the first 20 minutes. So when I got in, we're already getting beat.
You didn't miss much.
It just felt flat. It felt like there was nothing in midfield. And through that, in my humble opinion, I felt that John and Holmes just didn't get the team motoring, didn't get the ball moving forward in any purpose. Then on the back of that, we didn't get the wingers going, so the strikers didn't get any service. And also as well, I felt that they were getting swamped. There's no composure on the ball in midfield, either to lay it off to the defense, to get to try and build from the back. We had I think a brief 5-10 minute spell when they sat off us a little bit and we tried to pat it around, but we still couldn't break them down. I think we need that mature head in midfield. I think it's been well stated by Alan in interviews. They're still trying to strengthen that midfield area. I think Holmes and Fenton John are too similar to play alongside each other at this stage in the career. They're not bad players. You know, I was thinking about this today. Owen Bailey wasn't Owen Bailey when he first come for the first 10 games. You know, maybe even a little bit longer, but you knew there was a player there. I think there's a player there in both of them, but to play both of them together at this moment in time isn't doing either of them any favors. And you know, we know we're up against it with a budget, like Steely said before when I heard it when it was cutting in and out. And we know that the realism is we're not going to be that team that was pushing for the playoffs, that team that was entertaining every week. We're going to have to knuckle down and grind out a few results here and there. And some games we might turn it on against the teams that aren't as good. But yeah, I think that was probably the I'm trying to think the level of expectations there yesterday, because obviously people got excited about the game with Eastleigh, but Eastleigh were just that poor, I think, as well. Not to say that we weren't good on the day, But I just think, strengthening has to happen, and it has to happen in that midfield, whether it's a whole role midfielder or someone that can grab the game, drop deep, and then take the ball higher up the pitch and get everyone moving. Because at the moment, the two young lads just aren't coping.
I know. It was, as I said before, Davey, it's a reality check. So, yeah.
Like I say, no one's expecting with it, especially with what the budget is.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. Surely the manager doesn't go out there and say, just pass it. Because I bet our heat map, you know how you do these heat maps, it must have been backwards and forwards to George Shelby. Our heat map must have been in our final third.
Well, lads, did we give their keeper anything to think about? Did we actually?
Nah, one chance where he come out and got the ball at the defender at the, I think it was Hurst's feet.
It was I think did we have one corner? It was late on in the game when we got the first corner. I know it just that sums it all up really.
It was it wasn't any. There was nothing for us to get excited about as Gateshead fans in that game. Was it? Once it went to 3, you were like, "Come on, let's just get this game over with now."
It's 90 minutes of our lives. We're not getting back. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think I was up the Legion again last night, and good atmosphere again up at the Legion. There's a fair few in, and I think John Bourne said the same. There's an hour and a half of my life I'm not gonna get back. And it was soul destroying watching it. Like I say, we all know what the crack is, but I'm sorry, to me, players have got to start getting in people's faces. We've got Tamworth on Saturday. Do you think we can just turn up and turn it on without Tamworth getting stuck into it?
Yeah,
they've got another thing coming because Tamworth will get stuck into it, whether they like it or not.
Well, they're a big team as well, a big unit, Tamworth. The physical team. Yeah, and we struggled with that last night. The physicality of it, we struggled completely with that. So that's what worries us about Saturday. But those are the games we've got to potentially win. They're the ones who are going to be down with us. They're a similar kind of budget level. They're the games we need to win basically to stay in this division.
Definitely. As I say, I mentioned before, apologies. We have had trouble with our editing stuff because of the internet. I am going to get a picture up, but Gateshead have signed someone in the transfer market. We talked about this player last week. We didn't know his name, but Max Melbourne has come into the football club. Had previously been with Morecambe. He came on. We've seen a little cameo from him playing it. Was it left back, wasn't it? And he showed a great burst of speed. There he is there, Max Melbourne. So he's joined the club. He's got experience. He's played his career in the Football League. So hopefully we'll see more of him once he gets, acclimatized up to speed. But yeah, I think the defense needs a helping hand. I think the players there are good enough, but I think they need cover. They need support. And they need to not be left open as much. And, we're seeing this, but I'm sure the players themselves will be having a little look around and all and saying the same thing, and the good thing is about this part of the season, the games come thick and fast, so you can move on to the next and hopefully put it right, whether it be put the performance in and battling. Don't mind you losing, but let's see a little bit of fight in there, lads. I know there's a lot of miles in the legs this last week, down to Eastleigh, down to Rochdale. It's going to happen again this weekend in a short turnaround. Obviously at home on Saturday, then long journey down to Yeovil. But this is the league we're in,
The lads now they've had a shitter, and most footballers now they've had a shitter. But it's about putting it right. But what I didn't see the desire. Well, there was from some, yes. I seen people getting stuck in, but I didn't see it across the whole team. It's got to, when you got a budget like we've got, it's all or out, because if some of them just do it and the others didn't, we're screwed. Absolutely screwed.
It was almost the body language could show that we almost were just expecting to lose last night.
It was almost chicken cells before we got in there.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't Frank and Dom just had no chance.
They had no service.
Frank done no wrong. Every time he got the ball, at least it went to someone in purple, which is more than I can say for a lot of players on that park on yesterday.
But the problem is they're up there to get the ball higher up the pitch. If they drop down deep and win the ball, There's no one else making them covering runs at the top. I mean, Kane and Dom couldn't get going because they say the service wasn't come from midfield. They weren't distributing it. So, I'm sure the manager will have looked at it. They've probably assessed it today. They'll be talking to the lads tomorrow. And, it's frustrating. It is. And
just make them watch it. It's recorded. Just make them sit and watch it. The two lads up front had no service. There was not, bless them. It was not their fault, as you say, but make them watch it. Sit them down for 90 minutes and say, right, we're gonna study this game. We're gonna watch it. Whether you like it or not.
Look, he's turned around and says, "Give him now. We've been beaten by a better team. You've got to hold on." Yeah. We have been beaten by a much better team, but it doesn't stop you putting tackles in and making it hard for them.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that. Two games have conceded 7 goals against Southend and Rochdale. Yes, I know they're going to be up near the top of the table, but have some balls and fucking start tackling, for Christ's sake.
Language.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it's got it.
I know, but still, we know we've got a lot of kids watching, Mickey.
I do apologise for the language, but I'm getting sick of it, and I'm getting sick of crap.
Mm-hmm.
I can handle crap if crap gives it half the effort.
Yeah.
But when you're seeing the effort, they give up against Southend, they give up against Rochdale last night. Of course, we're allowed to be pissed off as fans.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that.
No, we're not like that.
But yeah, Steve Farnfield's put you pay for what you get. Oh, sorry, he's got to keep the machine going. Then he goes, "Hey, you pay for what you get." There you get nothing out, Davey.
It's like pay peanuts, get monkeys. That's my head chef used to say that years ago.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times.
But we'll just have to see what the reaction is on
Colin's message before about us being in a relegation fight. Yeah, we are. Well, we are. Let's be honest.
I mean, 30 days. Yes, it's kind of when you were tough, but I mean, a couple of wins and you can be rapidly up the league, and people who started well can drop away. We started the season on fire. The '97 season got relegated. That 4-0 win. So it is early days. I
want to Jim Platt 3-0 against Farnborough.
Yeah, I remember that. First game of the season, Mickey. It was our first home win on opening day of the season for years. We went buzzing after it, then we went down.
First opening day win in 22 years, and Paul Connor scored 2 goals, and that was the highlight of the season.
It was,
It
was awful.
But look,
there you go.
I'm going to hold my hands up here and say we're only in a relegation battle when you're in the relegation zone. So I'm keeping my positive. Only in the relegation battle. You're in the relegation zone.
There's one little silver lining from all these clouds. A certain person went to walking because the dream wasn't the dream he was sold.
Yeah.
And look where you're sitting, Mr. Akinola. You're sitting, I think it's second bottom.
Yeah.
And early days, he put in about 2 months' time, he probably on here and saying, "Oh, you were taking the piss when I was bottom of the league."
Yeah.
But couldn't happen to a nicer bloke.
So we've got this is from Lewis. He's put, "Evening lads, Rochdale look a good outfit for promotion last night, but I do think Alan has made a decent start of life as head manager." Look, there's no bones about it. At what point did the club or the manager come out and say, "Look, we're going to be pushing for the top"? We knew it was going to be a tough season.
Yeah, well, no, it's going to be tough, and I appreciate that, Lewis.
Yeah,
if I've said it previous, as I said, if we got 3 points on the first 3 games, I'd be delighted.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 3.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to put up with performances like that, because if we are going to play like that week in, week out, our better players, which are Kenton, Joe, Shelby, Dom, are going to say, "I'm not putting up with this. I want to win."
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely.
Well, as I say, everyone's pushing in the right direction. We have got Simon in the background who's going to come on to talk to us a little bit about Gates FC. Ladies, I'll quickly go through some more messages.
Oh, God, there's another rant coming.
Hey, Mickey, have your tablets, mate.
There we go. Yes, Dave, we should maintain a positive mental attitude. We should.
We should. But the team's testing us.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're paying good money to watch that last night. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Sadly, we are due a bad season after we've been for the last few years. I think it's going to be a long old season. It is. It is.
It is.
Right there.
I'm attuned to that. I really am.
I'm always a half full kind of guy, and I'm thinking, look, in 8 weeks' time, we could be singing a completely different story. Let's have the faith. Yes, it's been a couple of bad performances, but let's hope they can, crack on and get further forward. Keep your messages coming in, everyone. Please like and subscribe as well. If you're new to the show, we'd love you to have you on. If you haven't seen the show before, we are the Heed Army podcast, of course. And we talk about all things Gateshead Football Club, positive and negative. Sadly, it's a bit negative at the moment. So if you haven't been with us before, please do drop a like and subscribe. And, of course, get along to a game if you can. Right, I'm going to bring in our guest here, Simon Johnson. Although his haircut from the front does make him look like the Ibiza final boss. So I think I know that he's dressing as his Halloween.
All right.
Good evening, Simon.
Not the introduction I was expecting. Thank you, Dave.
He's changing the hair now. There was an announcement this week, Simon, about the ladies' team that are going to be, I suppose, mothballed is kind of a word for a season to get things in better footing for next season. So, just for you to talk us through the thinking behind it.
I'll be honest, if you give us time, Mickey, I might calm your rant down. To be totally honest with you, obviously I got involved with the ladies the season after. And I'll be honest, since then, I've kind of been in and around the background helping Carl, who was the manager, even up to a point where the last 4 games of the season I took over because there was nobody to do it. I'll be honest, there's never been a plan for the ladies. There's never been a strategy. Recruitment every year gets harder because it's just relying off sort of social media. And I think it's not just had an effect in terms of us as a club, but other clubs. If you looked on the social media comments, there was quite a few said, look, you'll probably not be the last. I spoke to Liam Rangers about it when I gave them the news, because obviously they went to play them in the FA Cup on Sunday. And I'll be honest, it is a little bit tough, and it was one of the frustrations I had when I was manager. In terms of the first year was brilliant. They were given a lot of resources, and there was loads of big sort of shout outs on social media. But then from then on, it just kind of quietened down, damped down. And I think it's probably the right time to have a little bit of a reset and actually sit down and plan, what does Gateshead FC ladies look like, rather than we'll just keep sort of paying money and trying to see through the season and not, like, limp through like they did last year, because ultimately you want the experience to be one that's positive, and probably large part of last year it wasn't, and so now it's probably a chance, a bit like in the summer in terms of what's happened with the men's, to kind of sit down and take stock, have a little bit of a review. I know, although we've kind of put this on hold for a year, we have kind of sort of pulled in another team in terms of from the college, and we're looking to work with them and see how our partnership looks like. And obviously we've got the current under 16s, which we're now obviously going to have to have a look to see what that looks like for them, whether it's under 18s or whether they go into senior. But it's tough. It's totally been a tough decision. One based firmly on recruitment, I'd be honest with you. And it doesn't help when, where we sit and the level the women sit, anybody who plays really well for them generally goes and gets cherry picked by teams that higher up. It's football. It happens with the men's as well. So I think that's one where we'll just need to plan a strategy and put something in place, which should have been put in place when it started at the very start, which it wasn't. And like I say, that, like, I always remember speaking to Busty about it, and he kind of, when I got involved, he was like, well, there's no real issues, so like crack on. And I could understand why he said that, but I didn't expect it to be kind of that motto kind of echoed by people above. And I think it was because the ladies just kind of kept themselves to themselves and there was no issues. That was it. Do you get what I mean? And obviously there was, it was mad because obviously I took a step back and I know Carl took over, and I know we had little runs in the FA Cup and things like that. And I know obviously fans like Sir Mickey, etc., were starting to do things to kind of help the experience on a match day. And I remember that those above at the time kind of put a stop to that. But there was never no reason why. Yes, there was probably some legitimate reasons in terms of, like, I know with Steely Allen selling teas and coffees and all that sort of stuff, but nobody sat anybody down. And I think for me, it's time we do need to sit down and plan, a bit like with the men's, what we're doing in the community, what we're doing with the foundation and the soul. And like I say, obviously I said it obviously at that talking, like, we're trying to do a lot of work, because, and I'll be brutally honest, the football club kind of did stop running to one degree in February when we thought it was going to be a takeover, and some people thought that was it, happy days. And it is frustrating, and I totally get it, Mickey. But at one stage, it's like, well, can we just go and have another season like we did last year? Well, no, because not only probably will you struggle to see the season out, what's that experience actually like? And I'll be honest, the only reason I got back involved with the ladies towards the back end of the season was just so the girls could see the season out. That's probably the least the club probably owed it to them. So
More than owed it to them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'll be honest, if I hadn't have done it, and it's not on my ego, but I don't know who would have. Do you get what I mean? And as brutal as that is, and people might go, "Oh, like, that's him feeding his ego." Like, I knew some of the girls, I didn't know the majority of them, but I just thought, like, somebody's got to show some love and some care to them. Even obviously when they come round to the presentation, the girls wanted their own presentation, because they were like, well, we're not really all part of the club. And I know obviously I spoke to Charlotte and Lee Calder and the Soul, and they appeared for a sort of trophies and for them to do something off site, which was good. And it was the least they deserved. And like I say, like, it has been run separately, like other organisations, this football club, in terms of, you always had your bit of the soul, the foundation, what we've never been linked in. And like I say, it is tough.
Simon, can I cut across you there? The lasses helped more with the foundation coaching than our first team players did.
To be fair, Mickey, to be fair, they got paid, essentially. It was paid work for them, which was great. And it was something that kind of, when I was involved, I was keen to make sure that them opportunities were given to them. It's probably changed a little bit because it's off-site now, in terms of trying to get the first team down and schedules and stuff. But can it not? It's not for, like, it cannot not be done. I remember Camille Conte must have spent 2-3 hours after all the lads had left on one of the summer camps just off his own back. Yeah. I think he even went to some of the ladies' games on a Sunday.
He did.
Just because he. But it's tough because, you know, that's something that we know we need to get better with in terms of player appearances. We did a little bit more last year, and we were a little bit sort of timings and things, but that's something where we've put in place. I'm trying to put in place in terms of, like, if the Soul or the foundation or whoever give enough notice, because that was some of the problems last year in terms of they'd go see somebody, and to be honest, if it didn't come via myself or via Clarkey to then go to the players, if it went to somebody above, it never really happened. It never really sort of fruitioned. And it's something where we know we need to get better at. And like I say, it's one where I think as a club we'll probably do need to take stock. And I know there's been a bit of a review behind the scenes with the junior academy, with the under-19s, obviously now getting to it in terms of with the ladies. And I just think, like, it was mad because it was never going to be sustainable. I saw it 3 years ago when I got involved, and it was, you know, we struggled to get somebody to run the media. You're going to struggle in exposure, commercial. Although, to be honest, obviously, the club's kind of relied on people like Gateshead Central sort of footing the bills. For like last couple of years, the girls never had to pay subs, which was great. And it should have been a selling point, but we didn't really sell it. Do you get what I mean? And commercially across the board, it hasn't been good enough. I know we're slowly getting
Simon,
there.
can I come in there? And now, you know exactly what I'm going to say, because I said it at the meeting. This football club is supposed to be all inclusive. At every match day, it comes up, this is an inclusive club. That includes the ladies' team. Why the hell should the ladies pay subs when the first team doesn't?
I get that, Mickey. I get that, but I think it's probably the level where they're at, because ultimately, in and around those levels, clubs do charge.
I
Stuff,
understand that, yeah.
which is fair enough. But like I say, so this is the other thing that obviously I think it was the FA Cup game where I think me and Stewie Allen actually had words because he didn't really understand who I was and what I did in terms of supporting Carl. But I remember we sat down with Carl and Hugo and we mapped out their FA Cup run, being like, if we get to that first round or whatever, you basically cover all the costs for the season. And it was off me going back, to be honest, with Carl, and we'll work together to be like, well, that means then the girls will not pay subs, great. And I get what you're saying, Mickey, but equally at a club where we're at, like, the ladies don't bring in gate receipts, they don't bring in, like, so it's something I totally get, but there's a cost ultimately.
The cost, but why can't the lasses get their own sponsorship type of thing? Like have the shirt sponsors?
Yeah, but to be fair, Mickey, like that front of shirt sponsor Gates Central covers a cost for the full kits, and it's something where I've spoken to Bernard about in the summer in terms of we've got to relinquish some sort of sponsorship to make sure it's viable. Do you get what I mean? So can we have a training wear sponsor? And I'll be honest with you, it works well at other clubs when you've got people who want to come in and they want to be the women's manager of X club, but they want to do all the social medias and they're bringing a little bit of a team, and that's kind of what I've suggested. Basically, next year you need to have your own little committee that runs the women's team, like, but make sure it's not a club within a club. But to counter that, like in terms of the people there run that site and make it smoothly, it's not relying on myself to pick up team administrations with Carl Morrison or with Tom or whatever. Like every other club, they have their own little sort of support network. They'll have a club secretary for the women's, club secretary for the men's, and then like maybe a whole club secretary. So things like that. But again,
I know. But if you volunteer for these things, you never hear no back, Simon. I've had to do the updates at games, and I've never heard anything back for years. Not a thing.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, Mickey. In terms of that, I know obviously you've done bits and pieces in terms of Twitter and stuff, but it's one where I think if we're going to do it, we've got to do it properly as well.
I know.
That's no skin off your nose, but like we have had in the past, to be fair, a few people come in from universities, interns, etc. But then the interest kind of wanes. But it's probably waned because there's nothing being given from the club apart from maybe a little bit kit here, a little bit this. And until you show that little bit of love, not just to people helping out, volunteers, but also players, and offer and showcase what you can do, then you're going to struggle. And that's where there have been the last couple of years. Like I say, there's never been a plan. Like they were set up 5 years ago, and it was great that first year, looking from the outside, all the sort of social media, the highlights of this, the sponsorship as well. And then kind of I got involved and it just kind of dropped and the interest waned, and then it was like, well, so who's going to do it? Like, who's going to do it? And that's the problem. Like I always find in terms of the last couple of years, like everybody wants to be seen when it's going well, but when there's some hard work to be done and people kind of don't want to do it. Do you get what I mean? Roll their hands up.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably speaking a little bit too truthfully or too transparent at times, especially now when we roll within the club. But I think it's the least, I think, especially the ladies should deserve, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got a message off Trina, and I understand what you're saying here, but I think obviously what Simon was alluding to before about revenue and how much it costs to put on a game at Gateshead Stadium with things like that. So obviously, for our audio listeners, I'll just read out. But don't think Newcastle ladies playing at the ground helps now. Now helps when Gateshead ladies never got to play when they were promised a game there, and this is a thing that is massive within the ladies' game about the wanting equal exposure, equal pay, and things like that. But if they aren't generating the revenue, it can't be done. I know.
To be fair, Dave, like it was the year after I left, and I don't know, it might have been Rob. To be fair, kind of said it, Carl. And then I don't think Rob it was early stages when Rob was involved with the club, and I don't think he realised.
Oh, is he there?
He's just been shot by one of the ex-lasses.
He's not. He's on I think he's on Virgin Media. You're not on Virgin Media by any chance here? Because I've had a nightmare of it.
It's your hotspot, nightmare.
It is. No, but you left with just as you said. Rob had said, and he didn't realise.
Just like it said about an opportunity for the ladies playing on the pitch. I don't think he realised in terms of kind of how it worked at the time in terms of with the council. Even I don't know if you remember, there was a game played on the stadium pitch for the young lad who was sadly passed away. And there was loads of hoops for that had to go through, and the cost, but the Calvacy. But I always said, like, surely, yes, there might be a cost, and yes, you might not be able to bring the full money in, but the opportunity alone to showcase the ladies is probably worth it. But again, nobody sat down and went, well, it's going to cost this much. How do we work towards that? Do you get what I mean? So, like I say, like Stu Allen and yourselves selling teas, copies, or domino cards or raffle cards, like other grassroots football clubs I've been involved in, we've had race nights. Even this football club, we've had race nights, we've had domino cards, we've had all sorts. And that's something where I think could have maybe done a little bit better. But again, like I said, to touch on the Newcastle women's, we weren't informed until very late.
Yeah.
Because, people may believe that, not believe that, but I'll be honest, I've got to be careful, but we weren't informed probably when we should have been informed, and unfortunately we cannot really do nothing because it's above our heads. That's our landlords, we're just tenants. But again, like, we've not even been consulted in terms of how that would have worked with our ladies and changing rooms and this, that and to that. But again, like, for me, it's a negative now what's went on, but it's now not just dwelling on it, it's now actually putting some plans into place and actions, because we've got some fantastic under-16 players now who unfortunately will be really good, that will probably surpass the women's standard next year because they are really good. But it's also ones that maybe how can we get them in? So whether it goes down the line next year where it's under 18s or the straight into seniors, but it's working with them now. I know some of them this year that would have kind of went into our senior sides went higher, which is football. But now it's trying to understand how this partnership with the college will work, what's the benefits to us, which I think will be a good thing. But again, it's new. It's a little bit like the unknown.
Has the slate been wiped clean and it's starting right from the beginning again with a little bit of knowledge of what you know from the past?
Hopefully. Because as far as I was aware, there was never really a plan. And there might have been a plan in place. To be fair, I could be doing people a disservice. But from what I've seen, my remit when I got involved coaching was just get promoted. That was it. It was never this, that, or that, or do this. When now I think, speaking of other clubs that face similar challenges, there's got to be that pathway of players coming through. So that's something where I know the junior academy, we've got loads of boys teams. At the minute, we've only got under 16s girls. So now it's maybe going next year, can we have 14s and 16s and start to build that up, which is the early stages. And when we get that right, then you'll see the fruition. Like I say, it's just putting that plan in place. But that's the reason why I messaged you, Davey, the other day, just to give you the heads up, because I think they needed to be given the respect they deserve. And I'll be honest, like I say, as long as I'm here, I'm happy to push and want to see them grow and re-establish, like I did when I left.
I would say, Simon, even at the when the people went at the talking at the Legion Club, a couple of months ago now, or 6 weeks ago now, you were very honest, and then you have been tonight. Of course, you might have tuned in before you joined us, and obviously people are a little bit aggrieved at the moment. But can you just reiterate one more time, just that the club effectively did stop running, stop planning for the future, didn't it, for this season? So how much of a catch-up have you had to have? Because I know a lot of people on social media, I know people say people are entitled to their opinions, but I just want to understand the level of where the club's build itself back up from.
Put it this way, Dave, when we played Rochdale last February, the post-game sort of talk from the gaffer mags at the time was the takeover has pretty much went through. Some years will be here, some years won't. Obviously, we had got beat, and people thought that was done. And people up above kind of probably thought, great, like I can now pass the club over, like, which is fair play. You know, we've done so well in the last 4, 5, 6 years. But I'll be honest, I get people's frustrations from the outside, but do you know what? It reminds us a little bit like the early days when Mike and Busty first took over. The football wasn't great. They struggled to get their ideas. It was early. The key words probably transition. And we've had to deal with all sorts in terms of the summer and the FIFA transfer ban, this, that, and other. Players who didn't want to be here, players who now want to be here. That's a big thing, ultimately. And I think the players that want to be here now want to do good. And yes, you know, performances, results, and whatever. But for me, like, I've seen a lot worse over the years, probably past 5, 6, 7 years ago. And again, I just think it's one where it's going to take time. I'm not seeing any team be relegated in the 3rd game of the season yet. But I just think, I get it. I get your frustrations, but for me, we all know what's happened with the football club. And we're just literally, for me, I just want everybody to just back everybody to the hilt for a month, 2 months for the season. Yes, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and there's going to be sort of opinions of, oh, well, he's not done well, or they have not done well, and this, that, and to that. But these sort of clubs, I say these clubs who are in and around your Tamworths, your Wealdstones, they're all pulling the same direction. The players, the staff, the fans. And a bit like our fans, we've always been back when we go away, we'll get beat, but we're still giving the high fives, and there's still a little bit of respect. And I think that's something where we need to keep that sort of unity. And yes, there'll be short-term pain, but for me, I think we'll not achieve what we'll achieve if we're not all together. And that's players, that's staff, that's everybody included. And like I say, for me, it kind of reminds us, like I said, that early stages of Mike and Busty's sort of reign in terms of the football results, kind of covered the football and this, that, and to that. And like I say, that panned out all right, didn't it, in the end? But now, like I say, there's no beating around it. I know Al's, the Gappers said, we are behind in terms of recruitment, and we are working on players. And I listened to some of your comments before about yesterday, and it's probably because we need a bit more lads with experience, you know, which is hard to bring them in.
We need someone with balls. We need someone to get stuck in, because no one's getting stuck in, Simon. You can't say they're not.
No, but if you look across the squad, Mickey, though, as well, though, like, what, there's 4 or 5
it's young, I know that.
No, but also, like, we commented yesterday, there's probably 5 lads that were at the club last year. Everybody else is new. There's probably only 3 that were actually in the club, not out on loan. So, like, say, Pannies and your Fentons were out on loan. Like, it's going to take a rebuild. It's going to take time, because, you know, we had a bad result down Southend. We beat Eastleigh. Everybody's went from being low to really high, and then we've had a bad result yesterday, and everyone's back to being low. And it's like, well, do you know what? It's going to happen, and I get it. And I get your frustrations as fans. I'm a fan myself. Do you get what I mean? But I see what happens on a day-to-day basis. I see what goes into games. I see the travel and all that sort of stuff, and what we've got to do to try and sort of make ends meet. And there's no excuse for not putting the tackle in. Don't get us wrong. That's certainly not it. But also, you know, it's all about those factors in terms of, well, I tell you what, the big thing was from Saturday was, do we start the same team or do we change it? Do you get what I mean? And the gaffer to keep it. You know, in hindsight, he might have changed it. You never know. But it's all those sort of things. And like I say, some of the lads were written off after Southend game. Then they weren't. The week later, it's football. I get it. It's opinions. But for me, it's short. We've got to look at a longer picture, and whether fans think we should just stay up, or we think we're more than good enough to be more than just staying up anyways. But like I say, I think it's just given that time, and it's going to take time. And like I say, I've probably been a little bit too open and honest, but that's me as a fan, as me. Yes, I work with a football club, but I'm probably in a privileged position. I get to see what goes on a day-to-day.
You mean is there a championship push?
Hey, we're keeping that under the
radar. I'm mortified at that.
We're keeping that under the radar, Mickey. If you didn't hear Kenton at the talking,
You're keeping it well under the radar, judging by last night.
To be fair, though, Mickey. 2014, we lost the first 3 games on the bounce and finished at Wembley, so it could be worse.
There's positivity for you. I like it.
Thank you for joining.
I know you must have been digging somewhere.
You've gobsmacked it. But no, Simon, thank you very much for coming on and being very honest and open, and always appreciate it. And as I say, if you want to get to the game early and see Simon's first touch when he's doing the warm up with the lads,
his second touch is always a tackle, man.
Well, you'd like that. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
But you're not playing.
You tell a gaffer that then.
I would tell the gaffer that, but he kicked me figuring he did.
I'm trying to give a nice send off and look at you, Perry is bickering like.
No. I've said before, I know the score.
Yeah.
I know the score, but there's nothing, in my opinion, that stops a player from working hard and putting tackles in.
Yeah.
I know that we were against a good team yesterday, but I didn't see any tackling from any of our lads yesterday. And I'm not having a pop at Simon.
No,
it's the club.
But to be fair to Mickey, like, obviously fans aren't privy to that, but like their gaffer said that's took them the best part of 2 years to get to where they are, and he said, they're a bit like what we were last year when we started the season on fire. So, like I say, we've had a full rebuild. I don't think people it has been a full rebuild, and like I say, like it's gonna take time, but we just need to. And I get what you're saying, but we do need to just make sure. Like I think he's alluded to about fans chanting, passing sideways, this, that, and to that. I get it because you can get bored in the game. Do you know what I mean? Christ, I used to be one of the worst when I was up on the clothesline. But I just think because of experience and years gone by, I know how big a part the crowd backing the lads can be. Because there's times, I'll be honest with you, especially those early rounds of the FA Trophy, when there's not many fans in. I always remember speaking to Busty about it, and it's not even like a pre-season game. It's like behind closed doors, and sometimes that's where the players have got to drive the intensity and the tempo. But when the fans are loud and whatever, there's no worries of doing that because the loud and they get behind the players and we're on it, and it helps. No doubt, it does help.
We've got a great message here from Sean Paris, but short-term pain, long-term gain. Can you get on to Hope and Glory and get that in Latin round the club bag?
I'm surprised you haven't already got them on sale, Dave, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying, yeah.
Shameless.
I'm pushing the brand. That's what we're doing. We're helping them build because they support the club, and we help anyone that supports the club. Well, on that
When's the third shirt coming?
Third shirt?
Yes.
I'll be honest. Don't quote us on this because I need to order the names and numbers. But we will be looking to wear it at Wealdstone away, which on the calendar is September the 13th. So it'll be some point behind then.
And it will be. It will be a lovely surprise because a former player didn't leak it on Instagram, so it's all right, everybody. But no, it is going to be something very, very different to what Gateshead's had in the past. So I'm looking forward to it. But Simon, we've got to get on with the predictions. But thank you very much for your time.
Cheers, Simon.
And, thank you, mate. Much appreciated.
Right, no worries. Enjoy, gents.
Thank you,
See you later.
See you later.
Top lad.
He really is, and as I say, I think he took everything on the chin. He agreed on things, and that's why I like to have Simon on. He's a nice lad, and look, he's been honest. The ladies were.
I'm not coming there.
Yeah,
I'm not being an arsehole by ranting and raving.
No.
I'm just getting me point across, especially with the lasses. I feel heartily sorry for all them lasses.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. They weren't even. I mean, as Simon alluded to, they weren't even an afterthought really over the last 2 years. So look, let's hope when they do relaunch, they've got a bit more behind them. Hopefully, we can push. And who knows? They might even get a game at at a in the stadium one day, maybe a midweek game or something like that, so that they can do, and hopefully give them. It'd be good to have a good relaunch with the first game at the stadium, wouldn't it? If circumstances allow, with obviously the landlords, but that's in an ideal world.
Yeah.
But, we'll do our bit to get behind them when they relaunch, and I'm sure there'll be things coming through as well.
While we're on about them, before we go one step further, I just want to say this to all them lasses who played for Gateshead ladies. Every single one of you, from the originals to the last season, thank you very much for your efforts in the Heat shirt. Yeah. It meant the world. And good luck for the future, wherever you end up. I will miss you all, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
Well, let's hope some of them might even return in future days as well. That would be, as I say, I've eventually got the graphics up. This was what was going to be here. As I say, learn from the Rochdale defeat was going to be the talking point. We've already talked about that and what we've said. Obviously, that ice cold goal from Dominic Telford was an absolute beauty, but we need more goals. We need goals aplenty. So hopefully that'll happen. Obviously, Hope and Glory would like to say a big thank you to them for being our partners. And now the prediction league. But look who is top of the league. The Romeo Gateshead are top of the league. Mickey and Trina sharing top spot. Oh, there we go.
I'm out on top of Trina.
I think it's went alphabetical, Mickey. So you're on top.
Wow.
Everyone's sending in their predictions. Remember, there's
I'm
two
in charge for once.
Yeah, everyone's sending in their predictions. There's 2 games this weekend, so please put both of your predictions in. And if you've sent them already, put them back in together in one message, so it's easier to read them all out. And a big thank you to Johnny Gray as well for continuing to do a great service on the prediction league. It's always fantastic. Right, I'll start off with Steely because he wasn't here to get his in, and I don't think I got yours in last night, Steely. I don't think it would have mattered anyway, would it?
No, I wouldn't have told. I went for a draw last night. I was being ambitious.
Yeah. Give us your predictions for the next 2 games.
All right, so it's still going to be tough. I think on Saturday we're going to draw 1-1 against Tamworth. And unfortunately for those travelling all that way to Yeovil, I think we're going to lose 2-0 to Yeovil. Ooh. Sorry, lads. I've started on the doom and gloom, so are you going
to throw a joker in yet? Or you?
No, not yet. Not yet. Go on then.
Go on, Mickey. You can go next.
Well, I haven't got his one for Yeovil, but I've got Lee Eldrim's went for 1 each tomorrow. On Saturday, sorry. Myself, I'm going to go 2-1 to the Heat on Saturday.
Oh, I hope so.
And I'm going to go 1s each on Monday.
Nice. I'd take 4 points from the next 2 games, Mickey.
Well, I'm going to pull one out, a joker that is. So I'm going to use a normal joker. I'm going to go Gateshead 3, Tamworth 1.
Wow.
On Saturday. A big reaction. So there we go. That's my joker. So 3-1 on Saturday. And I think against Yeovil, it'll be, I'm going to go for a 3-2 draw. Goal bonanza.
A 3-2 draw?
What the hell's one of them?
3-2 win to the Heat. I'm keeping with the positivity, sorry. So I meant to draw the scoreline out the bag. That's what, and then I got confused and said in between. Right. We have the Waldens have got theirs in here. So Darren's going 2-1 for Saturday and 2-2 on Monday. Liv is going a 3-1 win for both. Poppy, I like her optimism. She's going a 5-1 win for both. Tabitha, 3-2 win for both. Then Joshua is going 2-1 win on Saturday and a 1-1 on Monday. The Gates FC stats has put a shame we didn't build on the Wembley success yet. I think we'll have to just forget about Wembley and just go for the build again. Ken Rips has got a lucky 1-0 win on Saturday, 2-0 loss on Monday. Right, let's go through. We've got more. Darcy, she's going 3-1 win against Tamworth. She's like me, but just going for a 2-1 loss against Yeovil. Alan Guest is going 2-1 against Tamworth, and the Heed 1-1 on Yeovil. A bit of positivity about it. 2-1 win, says Vanessa. and 1-1 on Monday. Trina, who's looking to keep her top spot, is going 3-1 against Tamworth and 2-1 against Yeovil. So she's keeping with the positivity. Johnny Gray, the man with the prediction league at his fingertips, is a 2-1 win against Tamworth and a 2-1 loss against Yeovil. We've got Colin Dilbo is going 2-0 defeat and a 0-0 draw against Yeovil.
Wow, Colin.
He's got more positivity than all of us. We've got 1-0 on Saturday and Monday. He'd win both games. That is from the
nice.
We've got Sean Parry is going 3-1 win on Saturday, 2-1 win on Monday. Nice positivity there. 3-1 win against Tamworth and Yeovil 2-1. So there we go. John Dick is sent in one there. I see these guys put them both eventually. He's got 2-1 against Tamworth and 1-1 against Yeovil. Lots of people getting involved. We've got lots of scores here. 1-1 Tamworth, 2-0 defeat against Yeovil. We've got Crystal Story 1-0 against Tamworth, 2-1 defeat. 2-1 defeat against Yeovil's quite a popular one at the moment. And we've got Collins, but did I not get a point for the Rochdale game? I don't know. Where was his prediction put in? Was it missed by Johnny Gray? You'll have to let us know.
I put a 2-0 defeat for last night and 2-0 win on Saturday.
Yeah,
Colin there. Look, Colin on the league table. It says he predicted a 1-4 defeat, so you should have got a point for that.
We've got Mickey got the 3 points, didn't he, for Saturday?
2-0.
Yeah,
I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I know.
2-0s.
There was, but as I say, you've got yourself up there. We've got Yes, I'll Fix It. Johnny Gray had already mentioned that in the what it called. David Cowan's going a 4-1 win. Hello, David. Also, we've got both games. Let us know. And actually, a few people a point at the weekend. Sorry about a bad week. Well, there we go. See, I've had a bad time with the internet, and Johnny Gray's had a bad time with the prediction league. He's missed a couple. It happens. But we're not going to say thanks, Johnny. We're not going to get on his back. But lads, as I say, it's been a week of ups and downs. Typical week of being a Gateshead fan. This is what it's all about. None of this winning games over the last 5 years. What's that lad about? We're back to being proper Gateshead now. Where you can
No, it's misguided optimism on the prediction league.
Yeah, you can have a win, you can have a moan, you can, look, it's football. I like to say this: no one's got a divine right to win, but look, you got to earn it. And as Mickey said, no tackles, no balls won. So, let's hope the lads get back into it. I'm sure, like us, they'll look back at it and see what was missed. They're not daft. And hopefully we can kick on. And, if we pick up 3 points this weekend, I'll be over the moon. If you get, if you're picking up half the points that's available, still not bad going. It's early days and the league will level out if you can keep that momentum up. So we'll see what happens. Steely, I was sat right behind you at Rochdale last night. Apologies, I didn't get a chance to say.
Oh, sorry, Christopher. Sorry. Yeah, right. Yeah. I walked in. Obviously, don't know everybody. So yeah.
Christopher, how big was his bald spot? Are we talking 4 inches? Or are we talking 8 inches? So that will be the prediction for next week. We're going to measure it live on the show. Steely, you'll be back on the island next week, won't you?
Aye, back to work. Aye, actually, I've had a couple of weeks off. It's been very nice, but back to work. So,
and all the puffins gone. There's none to
all the puffins have gone now. Yeah, very much so.
There we go.
Need puffins.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, enjoy yourself in Northumberland. More to the point.
I did. I got great weather last week. Was cracking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was trying to show a picture of me and the kids in the hot tub with the dog behind us smiling, but the internet has not been my friend. Apologies for earlier on the show when I kept cutting out. Hopefully the show did keep going right, but from my end it was just glitching and everything. So I'm Steely and
one of the best shows, wasn't it, Steely?
Yeah,
brilliant. Aye, absolutely.
Yeah, one of the talking points we didn't get into because we're talking that much with Simon. We'll talk about it now. Gats's situation is more been resolved. Should have happened in the first place. Yes, but I haven't seen any reprimand for Morecambe. I don't want to see a club punished or suffering, but if it's all fair in love and war, we got demoted and 10-point deduction that season.
So when got points deducted?
Southend got points deducted. Where's Morecambe? Morecome's just a big celebration at the moment. There's been nothing said about not paying their players' wages and about not fulfilling fixtures. Now there should be a point deduction there. On the other hand, good luck to Archie Mayer, who was just signed back for them in the last hour. He's been announced for Morecambe. So glad to see him back in the game, and but let's hope we can put some past him on the 30th of September. I'm still got question marks over why there hasn't been any punishment handed to Morecambe yet for the situation, because every other club that can't pay the wages gets deducted points. So there we go. It's not a bitter thing. It's just no one's a special cause, as we found out in our case. As I say, have a super long weekend and fingers crossed for a win. Yeah, and someone's put good point, Davey. It should come as a punishment, but glad their future is resolved. Couldn't agree. Agree on that one. But as I say, if you're going down to Yeovil on Bank Holiday Monday, have a safe trip. If you kind of get to the game on Monday, we have full match commentary. So please hit that subscribe and hit the bell and like as well, and you'll get a notification when we go live with the commentary on Saturday.
Gateshead Legion, if you're not going to Yeovil, the games are on.
There you
Bank
go.
Holiday Monday. So
get along and make sure you do your hair and you have a photo like this. Whose legs went through the floor?
Mal.
Stay away from that point, and I'm sure all the floorboards are safe in the league.
He was just legless.
He's drinking. Sending positivity to the vibes to the team, management, and all our fab fans. Let's get behind them. On that note, we'll say goodbye. Thank you, boys. It's always a pleasure. And
take care, everyone. And sorry for swearing earlier.
Yeah, sorry. We'll have no.
You naughty boy.
He's a naughty boy. A very naughty boy. So hopefully
he's not coming out south.
Yeah,
he's now the next bit.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't swear again.
Yeah, right. Hopefully we'll have no problems with internet next week. We'll have all the graphics back up and everything more aligned. It was just a nightmare before the show. The lads will tell you I was panicking trying to get things done. It just wasn't happening.
It was quite funny, wasn't it, Steely?
To be fair.
Normally, I had it done. It just wouldn't load up. And So anyway, on that note, thank you and have a lovely weekend. And let's get
Bye.
Bye.